our life. So, hello everyone. This is Prompt. My name is Sahil Verma. I'm a software developer, and today we have our first very own subscriber, Tushar, with us, who will be participating in the data science interview. Tushar, please feel free to go on. This is your session. You can ask the questions here, like completely. Please, like, let's start with you introducing yourself, and then we can move forward. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It is data structure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Tushar Kaur, and I have near about 4.5 years experience as a software developer. Yeah. So,
I mean, we have always seen Tushar as an active member of asking questions. So, and thank you so much. Because you did came up and then came on the session to give out the DSA interview. So, I think with you, a lot of others will also get the feed and then get to join the community more and more.
I think I should thank you also. I'm getting chance to practice for interviews like this, and it's an opportunity, I feel.
Sure. So I think we can start, right? And meantime, if any of our viewers do get any problem, any session or please do let us know in the question in the chat, and we'll be trying to solve it out. Okay, so cool. Get started then. So sure, Tushar, you are having the access, right?
Yeah, yeah. I can
So
type. Yeah.
yeah. So this is your first question. Please do let me know if you want me to, explain it to you, or you want to read it by yourself and then clarify out the doubts.
Maybe I will just check what the question is, and later on we can
Sure.
uh, discuss clear conclusion. So, question is given a string str, check if the character of string makes a palindrome by ignoring the special character, numbers, and space. Okay, so basically we will be having a string given, which will include numbers, alphabets, and few special characters, eh?
Yes.
And it includes space also. So how it will be like? You want me to consider the numbers as a palindrome elements or not? Do
No.
we have to
So the
consider?
numbers will not be counted as in for consideration. You
Ah,
just
okay.
need
So
to consider just the characters.
yeah, you just mentioned as a character only. So one more thing is uh, the characters could be alphabets capital, uppercase, and lowercase also, right?
Well, yes,
Or
yes.
okay. Uh, so yeah, so pretty much I feel like usually palindrome. What palindrome is, just to explain that when we reverse that particular string, it will be same as the previous one also. Like even after the reverse, it will be written in same order as the previous original.
Yes.
Yeah. So in this question, I think we can take this with the small example. I think
Sure.
why it is false maybe.
Yeah.
So I will just copy this thing. So if we remove the special characters
Yeah.
like five, this one, and space, so it will form a string, and reverse of it is basically E L B B A and B. So clearly those both strings are not at all equal.
Yeah.
So in this given string, let's just try the first example. Let's just remove the special characters. 3 is removed. This is not required. 8 is also not required. And this. So even the reverse of this is RACECAR. Okay. Yeah. So I think that explains the question, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so basically, while checking a palindrome, we check the first element. For example, this example we took. Yeah. So we check the first element and compare with the last element, because in order to check the reverse, obviously after the reverse of that particular string, first first element will become last element, and last element will become first element after the reverse.
Yes.
So we can think in order that we can compare this R with last R.
Mhm.
We can compare this A with this A. We can compare this C with this C,
Yeah.
and we can compare this E with itself also.
Yeah.
We don't have to put that condition, but just in case, it's redundant, but there is no harm to check it. Once the both points are compared, we can surely say that this particular uh, string is a palindrome after both the indexes cross each other.
Okay.
That is, we already checked the first half and last half, and they are complete mirror replicas basically.
Yes.
So I'm thinking in that order. So uh, question is where to start and what could be the edge cases. So very first edge case I see that index we are starting with, that is zeroth index and the last index could be a special character.
Mm-hmm.
So what we will do in that case? So let's just say we are having all the character as a special character. In that case, what do you expect me to do? Like, do you want to treat empty string as a itself?
Yes. I think like for an empty string, you can return the condition as true.
Okay.
We can assume that as one of the situation here. So you can return if it's an empty string, we return it as a true.
Mhm. So whenever particular character is a special character, we can surely move that pointer to the left or right, like depending on where we are. Like I'm thinking in two pointer approach, like one point will point at first character and one at the last point.
Okay.
So whenever we face a special character, let's say this index is special character, we can simply go towards the left. That is, it will point to the A. So let's just take an example. Um, so over here, I will take I equals to 0
Mm-hmm.
and J equals to, what is the length? Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we will take it as 8. So as you see, string of 0 is B and string of 8 is specifically space. So we can say that that is a special character. So we need to move that particular element, right?
Yeah, I think like starting J will be 9, the space.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, length is 9, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you consider index wise, then yes, then you're saying it correct.
Yeah, index wise.
Yeah.
We need to access that index, yeah? So
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
it is zero based basically.
Got it.
Uh, So as it is an 8, we can surely say that space is one of the character is special character. We need to move that particular index. In case if it is a I, we have to move towards the right. That is +1. And in case if it in case of J, we have to move towards the left. That is -1. So we will put it as 7. So very first check, that is string of 0 and string of j are not equal. So we can surely say this is not a palindrome and simply return false in this case.
Got it.
So we can take a simpler example, maybe moving to a few elements. Might Yeah. So this is the more simpler example to to iterate. Let's just say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at zeroth location, B is there. That is not an special character.
Yeah.
But on 4, it is a special character. We need to move it. So 3. Again, 0 is not special character, but 3rd position is again special character. So we move to the left. Now we will compare string of A equals I equals to like string of J, that is B and B. Those are both are not special characters and both are same.
Mm-hmm.
So we surely need to increase both. Sorry, change the both the indexes. So we need to increase I by one, that is one, and we need to decrease the j by one. So either we exit on both are the same, or on both are the like j is lesser than the r.
Yeah.
So I think pretty much I think we can exit over there and say that this is a palindrome itself because both values are same, I and j.
Sure. So
Uh,
with this approach, like what would be your space and time complexity?
So, time complexity wise, we are iterating this particular string in only one iteration. Like we are doing only one iteration. So it will be O of n, where the n will be length of n string. And space complexity, we are not using any array or string or anything. We are just using two indexes to compare. So it will be constant time complexity O of one.
I think we can move on to the one. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I will just define a function. Let's say is palindrome, and we will be passing a string over here. And uh, over here we need to have a indexes. So let's just call it a front equals to 0, and rear equals to uh, length of a string, basically length of a str minus 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to do all those checks until both uh, uh, basically front and rear are not the same, or uh, front is lesser than the rear. So we need to have a while condition while front is less than equals to rear. Okay. So we can we want to specifically check whether one of the if front element, that is str of front. Okay, so we can check whether that particular element is alphabet or not. That is uh, one way to do it, or we can check whether it is an special character or not. As we are having multiple special characters, type of color special, it includes numbers and space and different kind of characters also. So it is better to use whether that particular element is alphabet or not. So there are two ways to do it. Either we can choose to do through inbuilt functions is alpha, but I think we should avoid it, and we can go with the normal way, that is checking the ASCII value of it. So I will choose the ASCII value, that is order of a particular element.
Yeah.
So we can actually create a function for this, so it will be much better in coding perspective. So we will call it as a is alpha element, and we will get a character, and we will check whether if uh, order of character, order of small a basically, and less than equals to and or capital, sorry, small c is then greater than equals to. So this is for a smaller lower case. So we can simply return true, and we can similarly do it for the uppercase also. We could have done it in same condition, but it would be too long uh, condition. So I'm writing this way. And now I'm uh, going to check whether the both the front and rear are the alphabet or not. So I will call is alphabet of str of front. Okay. uh, and I'm just checking it as a not. So if it is not, we want to increase the uh, front value, that is front plus equals to 1. And similarly, we want to check it for the rear also. So rear, and we want to decrease basically here minus equals to 1. In both the cases, we want to skip the conditions, like we can write it as a continue. So other below code will not get executed. And uh, yeah, so after this, we can say that if not alphabet, okay, if basically uh, a string value, that is string character front, is not equals to string l. So in this case, we will have to return false, and and we can return true over here. So um, I think this is pretty much this code should work fine. Can we do a dry run or?
Yeah, please. I would like to see a dry run.
Mhm. So let's just take this particular string. Okay, so we are passing it as a RECAS. So in this case, okay, front will be always 0 at the start, but rear will be. Let's just add some special characters here. Yeah. Hmm. So rear will be, as we mentioned, it should be I think like 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it's more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's I think 10. So specifically right now we can go to this while loop. This is a static function. Basically Python have a
That
function
is
here,
fine.
static function. So uh, over here right now, of course, 0 is less than 10. So this should get executed. Uh, it will check this alphabet string of front, that is zeroth index, that is R, is alphabet or not, and over here we will surely get true. Uh, in this case, I forgot to return false. Uh, yeah, it doesn't matter actually, because if we do not return anything, we will get none.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be counted as false only, but yeah, better be safe with this returning false. Uh, so uh, yeah, so over here 0 and 10, we are sure that
Yes.
this is a alphabet. This is also an alphabet. So those two conditions will not be checked. we will check whether str of front is not equals to str of rear. Both are the same, that is r and r. So for simplicity, I will just remove those characters. So we could able to keep where our indexes are pointing towards. So as I may notice, I'm not incrementing front and rear. Okay. So I should have done that. So front plus equals to 1 and rear minus equals to 1. Uh, so yeah, I think, okay, let me just if I'm not missing anything. Rear minus 1. Okay. Hmm. Points. Okay. I think this is good. So now, if this condition is false, so this will not get executed. Front will get increased by 1, that is 1, and this will be 9. So in this case, 3 and 7 are basically, 3 is a special character. We will have to increase it by 2. Now 9 is a special character. We will have to decrease it by 1. Uh, A will come, and A is equals to A, that is string of 2 equals to string of A. So we can surely say that both are same. So front will get increased by 1, that is 3, and we can write it as 7, that is real minus equals to 1. Then we will be removing the A also. Uh, yeah. So at 3, this particular character is not alphabet. So we will have to increase it by 1, that is 4. We can just remove this one. And both are now alphabet. We have to check both the values. So front is not equals to rear. This condition is not true. So we will increase the front by 1. That is 5. And also we will decrease the rear by 1. That is 6. So we can remove those characters for our letter assumptions. Right now, the sixth character, that is 8, is not an alphabet. So we will have to decrease our counter by 1. That is 5. And now over here, 5 equals to 5. So we can surely say that this condition is not true anymore, and we will get exited from this value, and we will be returning true. So yes, it is checking whether correctly checking whether it is valid or not. Yeah,
Got
you
it.
want
Yeah.
to check with another example?
No, no, no. This one works. Maybe now we can move on to the next, and
Mhm.
try to out that one. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, your sec.
So we are given two strings str1 and str2. If str1 is present in str2 as an anagram, str1 is considered as a valid anagram if str1 is present as a anagram grouped in str2. So I did not get the question
So
that
I do
correctly, but
mean, for
yeah.
example, let's say that if str1 is ABC, right?
Right.
So it is considered as ABC because BCA is there as a whole in this and not
Okay.
segregated. For example, let's say that if you see ABC in this one, but you do have
Yeah.
A, B,
Mm,
and C here, but they are
mm,
distributed like across the string. They're not together, grouped together. So you do need to return a true condition only if
mm.
it is present as an anagram and it's
Okay.
together, not as a discrete string characters.
Okay. So basically, there be uppercase letters in this case
No,
and special characters?
consider only lowercase letters are present in.
So there will be only lowercase letters. So yeah. The very brute force approach it comes to mind is like we compare ABC with the ABS, as we will see as is not same as C. We will skip that and start from BAC, which will also give false. That is, I think, more of an brute force way. Uh, I think I will think in more better approach. I think that approach, the brute force approach, will be string length of a string one into length of a string two. Uh, so that will be pretty much hard. But
Okay.
yeah. So another question I have want to ask, like whether the string, I do I need to check the length of string one and string two, because there is a possibility that string one length is greater than string two, then it is obviously not present in string two, right? So do I have to check that one also, or?
It totally depends upon you. Like, if you wish to consider that as a valid test case, and put that.
Mhm.
While that one, I
Uh,
think we have few comments. Just give me 1 second, yeah. Yes, Mukul, you are in time in this. Mukund, you are in time with this one. Thank you so much, Anshul. Uh, isn't just the count of alphabet in string one greater than for all alphabet? Uh, is it just that count of string one? It's not necessary, and yeah, that is one of the case that Tushar has said that if if string one size is bigger than string two, then it will be considered as a fall case. Moving
yeah.
on, Tushar, you can proceed with your
Yeah.
code.
So I have two approaches in mind right now. Uh, so one approach I see that we can create and basically a frequency counter of string one, and we will be having a running frequency counter of in the second string, where for example ABC length is three, right? So we will add first three elements as a frequency count only if string one is having both all the elements in. Okay. And as soon as we move that particular window, like BAC is there, we will be removing this element counter and adding the A's counter from this side.
Okay.
Did I do any changes? Sorry. So C counter will get increased. So we can compare both the counters and we can surely say that whether it is same or not. But I feel that is a little bit trickier, like not necessary thing. Uh, like we are having a window basically, but I'm not sure like how useful that is.
Okay.
Let me just think once again.
Yep.
I have another approach basically. So what my another approach is, we can create an hash function which will give value for that particular string. So basically, just for an example, I'm taking that. Let's just say we are adding ASCII values of both A, B, and C. So and we will compare take it as a zero-based ASCII value. Like we'll be removing the order of ASCII value of A from the particular character.
Okay.
So this will be like 0 plus 1 plus 2.
Okay.
This is just a basic hash function I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
So what my thought process is, like in this case, this will give 0 plus 2 plus, I don't know, hash is what's the rank of hash.
Yeah.
Let's just say call it 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so this sum is not equals to this one,
Hmm.
surely.
Yeah.
So putting it as a zero, I think will not be a good choice, but I think we can start from one itself. So A will be one, B will be two, like that.
Got it. Okay.
So also the summation part, hashing with summation is not a good choice because there could be multiple possibilities where some could be same. For example, let me just write something. So over here I will put a D, let's say, and D value is with obviously 4.
Yeah. So you do mean
So
like there can be a possibility that some
yeah,
other group of element can also land into making a similar value, right?
same value. So summation hashing is not a good choice. Uh, but what I think is if we, let's say, the way the base 10 elements work, right? So 4 plus 20 plus 100. If we do this now, the probability of we are getting the unique hash code will be much more better. There could be more ways to create hash codes, but this is the basic approach I am thinking of right now.
Okay.
Uh, so we will be doing the same length elements, like as we know the three length is there. So we will be calculating hash for the three length. Basically, A is, let's say, 1 plus 2 plus, we just call as a 12 maybe. I don't know exactly what is the
Uh,
exact number.
you want,
So
you can use a structure of like a built-in hash and can
mhm.
handle that. So it's totally fine instead of.
I think we can directly calculate in that case, but yeah, hash is also possible. Like we will take 26 character uh, hash, right? Uh, that is also a possibility. So this will get calculated, but when we move our window, right, we will move into the BSC
Hmm.
as the hash value was not correct.
Yeah.
So we will have to remove this 100 part by this one, okay, and we will have to add the C part. So we will have to multiply this by 10.
Yes.
So whatever the value it is, so we will have to multiply it by 10 and plus C value, that is the value. So these way we will be moving that particular window and calculating the hash value. When the hash value are same for our string one requirement, we can surely say that this particular array, like this particular anagram exists in that string too.
Okay.
Do you find with this approach?
Yeah. Can you tell me the time complexity that and you're using any of this?
So I'm not going to create hash map basically. I want to do it calculation for creating a like hash value. So we are not showing anything in that case. We will be having two basically variables which will store the value of hash. One will be the fixed value of string one hash, and
Yes.
second will be the value of the running hash. Running hash, basically, as I explained. Uh, so in that case, time complexity will be still O of n. Basically, we are not going to calculate for whole substring hash code. We are
Okay.
just doing it in O of an operation, like multiplying removing the 100 and multiplying with 10 is not a big value that is like. That's what I feel,
Okay.
right? That is O of an operation, right? Doing this way. Yeah, this operation is O of 100, like minus, if you even say minus 100, what is the time complexity? O of an operation, right? So, in all, this will be O of an approach, and space complexity will be constant again, O of 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you're
You
fine with
say
this
that
one?
this would be of n complex and of one space.
Yes.
Can you please like quickly start implementing?
Yeah, sure. So, we want to anagram exist or not. So, we will call it as anagram exist. So we are getting str1 comma str2. Okay. So of course we want to check this length str1. If length of str1 is greater than length of st2, we can surely say this is not an ideal case. Like we can surely say return false. No? So this is the base case we should handle. Now, let's come to the part where hash value calculation. Uh, basically, I want to create a function. Let's say function. Uh, um, we yeah. Sure. So hash one. hash 1 equals to 0.
Hmm.
Um, so we want to do it in reverse order basically. So like we'll be adding first last element of a string, uh, then adding the second element with multiple of 10, third element with multiple of 100, like that.
Okay.
So we will be having a multiplier basically. Multiplier equals to 1, and let's just calculate for let's just while I will take an index 1 equals to length of str1 minus 1, while index 1 is greater than equals to 0. You can do that. Uh, in this case, we want to basically calculate, yeah. So we will be calculating in hash 1 uh, plus equals to multiplier into, over here we want to do some calculation that is order of that particular string str1 of index 1 uh, minus order of a plus 1. So this is calculating that particular element. We will have to change our multiplier. So multiplier will plus it, multiply equals to 10. So this will multiply by 10, and every time we will get a higher value in that case. Um, so again, we will have to do this for first and letters of string 2. So let's just put this complete thing into the function. So definition calculate hash. So we will be passing an basically string, basically str, comma. We will pass this index value. I don't like to do this thing, so I will pass this index value
Okay.
in this. So I'm just putting index 1 as it is right now. So this line will get rid of. We will have to take care of index indentation once. Yeah, we can return hash over here. Return hash 1. Um, so why I did this? Because let's remove the hash 1 basically, because it will create some confusion later on. Uh, yeah. So we can say that hash 1 equals to calculate hash, and over here we will be passing an string, and over here one second, multiply this one, this is, yeah, this looks good. So calculate hash, we are passing str1, and over here we will be passing length of str1 minus 1. Okay. uh, and for hash 2 we will pass second string, and the value will be remain same over here. So we will get the initial hash values. Uh, we can directly check whether hash one is equals to hash two or not. Like uh, we want to do it. Sorry.
No, I just line 20. You were what to put a call.
Sorry. So we want to do all this thing while we are exceeding the length of hash two basically. The rolling hash which I was specifying in approach there. So right now our index, that is index 2, equals to index 1 is at 0, and index 2 is at the length of string 1, that is length minus 1. Okay. So we want to do it until the index 2 gets exceed the length of string 2. So it's less than length of string 2. Okay. Uh, so what we want to do, that we want to remove the index 1 value and add the index 2 value. Right now it is at a string 1.1. We have already have that particular value. So I can put it as a string value here. Uh, so this will be much better. If let me just think, we can first check whether both hash values are same or not. So if hash 1 not equals to hash 2, sorry, equals to hash 2, we can simply return true in this case. Otherwise, in index 2 case, we want to remove the index 1 value. So in order to calculate the how much value we will be removing, we want to add it as a multiplier basically. So multi equals to length of string 1. This is for we were doing right, multiply into 100 minus like that case is this one.
Yes.
This value we want to have. So for that purpose, we need to take the length. Basically, this is length 4. Sorry, this is length 3. So this is an 3-digit number. So it will be multiplied by 2, right? So yeah. So minus,
Yeah.
yeah. So minus 1 10 star 10 star length minus 2. That is true. Yeah. So this will be our multiplier.
Mhm.
Uh, so every time hash 2 minus equals to multiplier of basically uh, character at the index 1, that is order of index 1 minus order of a plus 1. Okay. And also we want to add the index to order. So plus order of uh, I had to add str2 of index 1. Have I done same thing over here? Yeah, I have done this one. This will be str. Hmm. So order of str of 2 of index 2. Okay. So pretty much it. This will calculate our new hash value. We will just check if hash 1 equals to hash 2. We simply return true. Otherwise, we can return false. uh, until the whole again I have to increase the index 1 and index 2. Index 1 plus equals to 1 and index 2 plus equals to 1. So at any point of time, if index 2 is equals to length of string 2, we will be exiting that particular while loop. This let me just see if we are missing anything. So 10 star 2 will be 100. That is, yeah, that is right. This multiplier 100 into order of that, order of, yeah. So over here, I forgot to add this one. So we can actually take a function for this one, this calculation. We can say that definition, definition, get ORD value. Okay, we are doing adding a cat. We'll just say chat. Okay, so let's just add, yeah. And we want to return it basically, return. Uh, uh, so get order of value. In this case, we will be just calling this function as this one. We don't need the extra part now. Yeah. Again, we will be calling this over here also. Again, we can simply remove the extra part. String to get order of value, index to. Uh, yeah, mm, pretty much it. I think this is correct. This is looking correct.
I think
Uh,
all test run.
yeah, yeah, we can do a dry run maybe. Yeah. Uh, hmm. So let me just take a small, simpler example where I don't have to calculate too many values.
Yeah,
Is it okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you will like
So
write it down from line number 19 that we can adjust it the screen and then rating it. You can write down your
yeah, sure,
samples
sure.
here.
Yeah. So let's just say our string one is A, B, C. Sorry. String string one is A, B, C, and our other string is, let's say, A, B, D. Let's just say C, then again D, then B, C, A. Okay. So is this fine?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. So we can simply compute the hash value of this particular thing as we are calculating over here. So this will be hash one will be uh, C value is 3 plus 10 into 2 plus 100 into 1. So this will be 100, 123, 123. Yeah. So we will be calculating uh, EBD value right now for section. So the only change is that 3 is now specifically 4. So this will come as a 124, right? So of course this condition is false, so we are not returning over here. Yeah, so we will start with index equals to 0 and index 2 equals to string 1. So, and multiplier is 10 cross length of string 2. That will be multiplier, or multiplier will be 100. Okay. So, yeah. So, what first operation we are doing is hash 2 minus equals to uh, this value. So, let me write in better way. Yeah. Hash 2 minus multiplier of cutter value and adding the order of the index 2. So over here, what we are doing, we are 124 minus 100, but we are multiplying equals to 24, and we are multiplying it by the Okay. Why I have taken this value?
I think if you
Yeah. I think I took this value as a wrong. I had to take only 10 here. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, this is correct only. Sorry. Uh, yeah, we are multiplying it by this value. After the subtraction, we had to do the multiply by operation. That we did not do. So I had explained this in explanation, but somehow I forgot to add it. Yeah. So this is more, yeah. So 24 into 10 equals to 240. Now we want to get the value as a uh, value of a, what do you call, requirement. What was this one? E, B, D, B, and C. So, okay. I think we missed something. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think this code will not work. Unfortunately. Uh, the thing
like
is that, yeah, sorry.
like you think if you it work by that is only problem.
Mm, this thing is that hash value will compare the exact pattern. Yeah, so that's the problem over here. And I completely forgot about that. Should I go with the counter value itself? But yeah, comparing the counters was much more better option. Uh,
Counter.
so as I said, I had two approaches. One approach was to create frequency map of this string, and we will be keeping an running frequency map basically. We will only add frequency if that particular element is there in string
Okay,
one frequency
got
map.
it. Yeah, yeah.
So sliding that will give us correct value.
Okay. But since
So
like you're like 95% done with this code, do you think you can make like any right value?
hmm. So this is tricky. Even if we consider the placing of the A, B, and D, in that case, on the index of those particular elements, we could have done that. But thing is that there could be multiple duplications. Like string one can have a duplicate values like ABB. In that case, I will not able to maintain the indexes itself. So I think this will not work here. Mm, okay. So what I can do, like I will create basically counter frequency itself. I will have to change this code basically. But I think this will not work like that. Um, so what you would like want me to do? Like, can we do for other approach or? You are suggesting anything in this approach?
Um, like basically, if I was in an interview, I would more be concerned, like, put out all of the code. I would say
Mm-hmm.
that you might be having 5 minutes, complete
Yeah.
out the code that you have written.
Mm-hmm.
Um, case if you do wish to complete it out, I think the approach of the frequency count that you have can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want, we can stop it here now and then have a discussion. You already know basically what you want to do now, you can have it. Or if
Mm.
you want to code it out now, you yeah, feel free to do that as well.
I think we can have a discussion right now.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think the that approach, counter approach, was much more easier way to do it,
Mhm.
and make it more complex in this case. Basically, I thought of an approach of pattern matching. Basically, yeah. So I
Yes,
forgot completely the order.
similar to
Order.
like how KMP tries to match it out faster, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But yeah, you did good. Um, it was a nice session. Any points that you want to like make upfront, or then we can discuss out like few of the points that I have about.
So I noticed that I jumped on code in this particular case very fast. I should have uh, done some dry run of data,
Yes.
and this could have prevented going in wrong direction, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and in question one, also similar thing happened. Like the code was not completed, this condition was not added, and I directly jumped on the dry run. So I think I need to work on how to explain the approach to the interviewer also. Uh, but those two three things I observed that I did wrong. Yes. Uh, what's your opinion?
Okay. First of all, congratulations. You did actually pretty good, and you are underestimating yourself. Uh, I mean, in the comment section, I can see by the time you were coding, simultaneously Mukund was praising you about your approaches, that you do explain it to the interviewer very well. You do communicate very well. So that is actually a very, kudos for that. Uh, yes. So with that, you do write down your code modularly. So that is really good. Yeah. And with that, another thing that I can say, that you do explain it very well as well. So those were the few of the qualities that how much time to spend on brute force method. Okay. So those were few of the qualities that I really liked in you. Few of the points that I would like to suggest. One is that when you do give out your approach, so if within just one or two lines, just give out a pseudocode, so that when you do
Uh,
have written down the pseudocode, say that if you do forget by the time you're coding, for example, few of the problems get really convoluted. They involve a lot of steps. If you do mention out any of the step, uh, you can always refer back to your pseudocode that will be having major steps that you have written. Also, for example, when I do write down the code and I know that this is a potential line where my code can potentially fail, I do write down a comment with that potentially can fail, need to check it back again. That really helps. Or for example, when you do have few of the test cases, if they pass, then it's totally fine. If they crash, you definitely know that that was one of the point where I know that my code can crash. So that really helps.
yeah, so I could have simply divided this code in comments and later on started could have started coding basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So or even with that, when you do start write down, for example, if you don't wish to write down all of the steps in your pseudo code at once, you by the time you start coding it out, you can just write down a comment that this is what you intend to do with this piece of code. These next 3 4 lines, that's what you
Okay.
intend to do.
Okay.
So that really helps, because this one, the second problem, was a big one. And another one, that when you did decide to make the rolling hash functions, that can take your attention span from just being the complete problem to actually thinking out how will you solve the hash function.
Right.
So that kind of scenario can happen. That is my only suggestion. Otherwise, your communication skills are really good. And you do explain it to very well with the interview. uh, Another thing, Mukund asked that how much time to spend on brute force method. So, for example, if you do already know uh, that you have two approaches in your head, just explain it so that it becomes clear in your head, and it clear becomes a clear to interviewer. Even if, for example, few of the fan companies, you will know that you'll be only having 40 minutes to 45 minutes, and in that you will be expected to solve two or even three questions. So within that, just try to explain within like 1 minute or 30 seconds, 45 seconds or 1 minute, that this is the brute force approach, this is how it will work, but I'm using this approach because this will be faster in this way or space efficient.
Mm.
So
Okay.
those were like that. That was one of my point that I did observe. Uh, if you feel like, if that is like needed to be corrected on my end, please can have the discussion.
I just had a few doubts regarding interview process. Like, what happens sometimes that this particular question is asked. We know that this is very simple question, but you do not remember the exact solution how it was done.
Yes,
So, what to do in that case? Like, anyhow, you are not remembering that particular solution.
that is true. For example, even the case of a palindrome, we know that we know how to solve a palindrome, but
Yes.
uh, we just like need to think that how did I actually solve it the last time. One, then, and that will come as to you like in two ways. One is that you do solve it out organically. So one method I would recommend is that you do revise all of the problems that you do have.
Yes.
So you need to be iterating all of them. For example, let's say that you know a target list of, say, blind 75, but that's a very small list. If let's say that these are some 150 good questions, okay,
I
you,
think there is netcode 150 list also.
yeah, you can, or we have other list, or you can create by the one by yourself. You keep on iterating those. That's a tedious process, but you do need to. Other thing is that um, when you code enough, um, you do start to speak in such a way that the interviewer might get a chance that you are actually thinking organically and then trying to build out the solution that he knows, uh, but they are building out the solution. But taking a risk on the second one in a case of when you do actually wish to crack an interview is not a good choice. So keep on iterating. Other one might work just in case if the interviewer is in a really good mood. But for
It also
example,
depends like how much interview is talkative. Yeah?
sorry.
It also depends on how much interviewer is interacting with you also.
Yes, yes, that does depends. There would be at times when like they will not be interacting with you at all, but at least from your end, let's say that when you're trying to solve out more questions every time, you do need to figure out that keep on speaking. At least whatever is coming in your head, the thought process that you're making, and to actually know your thought process when a problem is given to you, that is how they actually want to know how do you actually solve a problem. Just give me 1 minute. Sometimes it happens that we cannot have any brute force solution. Then what do we do? Example in binary search on the answer based problem. So Mukund, in that case, you don't. You know that this particular problem in this case is not having any brute force solution. You simply explain the problem You explain the logic of it, and then you say that, this is a way in which when I do read this problem, this is the way that I can plot it out. For example, when I do read this one, since it's having all of the values sorted, I know that this can be solved with binary search, and then I would like to solve it with binary search. So when we get videos on system designs, Pradeep, we are working on it. So we are starting it out. We are scheduling it. We are planning it out that we will be having at least like one live interview session on system design as well. So you'll be getting those videos with that. And I do remember you being like one of the first commenter who supported that you did like our work on system design. The idea is to bring it back, and then we'll be having it. So you can expect it very soon in the coming weeks. Yeah. Tushar, do you have any other doubts?
Yeah, I had doubts about the system design also. Like, how you recommend preparing for system design? Basically, there are two branches, HID and LID.
Yes.
So HID is kind of a thing that there are components and you can at least build some systems out of it. Yeah, like if you know good details in theory.
Yes.
But LID is kind more related to the skills, I think, I believe,
Yes.
like identify use and how to implement all this. So, how you suggest to practice LID and HID? Uh,
Well, HLD is well, one thing for promotion, yeah, or but the absolute truth, you can always watch the channel. That was one of my intent. Uh, the channel did started in a sense that when I was not able to say find out if I had to start from system design from scratch, how would I do it? And that's why I plotted out the first videos in that sense. Um, Another way was to read the tech blogs as I recommended in the last video. So the companies do roll out each and every one. There are communities. So once you, let's say that you started reading about how Facebook started using MySQL and how did they scale it to that big of an end, uh, you will read it. You'll try to read the 100%. You will get, first time when I started, I hardly get like 10% of the information that they were trying to share. But then you Google it out and then you start iterating. So like that's a very tedious process, but it works in the long run. For the second one, LLD, the thing is that patterns are changing. So, for example, let's say a year back, you were called, like, you needed to code out LLD in, say, code out a parking lot. Those were a few of the questions, right? Now, those are changing a little bit. So in that you will be, this is like more known as the machine coding round, in which they would ask you to implement a component, but in a very simple scale. So for example, in one of the interview, I was asked to design how I will make a distributed hash map.
hmm,
So I cannot consider that as a parking lot or an ATM system or those kind of questions. Um, but yeah, that is different. So that's more of like understanding of the components and then how it works. And the other one that I do read and try to understand from is the design patterns, and then they do come in handy. So this is design patterns, head first design patterns, a book that I started to read so that I can understand system designs. Also, there was one blog which person like wrote. His name is Vincent Houston. He wrote, like, he's a retired software developer having an experience of I don't know, like the man is 70 now, and he wrote those. So those were the best way that I learned. I'll share out that link as well.
thank you. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Public wants to know how many interviews Sahil Bhaiya has done. Do you wish to know like how many I've done and then succeeded, or how many I've done and failed? Because the other one count is much more as compared. I would simply say that I have faced more than 100 interviews or 150, and then have failed a lot.
So how you face the rejections in interviews? Like I'm in right now in the process of giving interviews right now.
Yeah,
Here and there I make mistake and got rejected. Even in hiring managers also around also.
yeah.
So how you face
I mean,
the character?
that's a very good question, and the truth is that you need to stop taking it personally. Keep on grinding. See, they were having an expectation. Say that they were expecting a person who performs, say, in a percentage of 96%. Okay, and right now you were, let's say, even 95%. Don't reach that mark, they reject you, fair and square. That's all. It's not about you. You failed. They were having an expectation. We were not prepared at this time. Only way we know that we see the mistakes that we did, and just, so what was my mistake? I didn't write out the pseudocode, or I changed out the approach. I'm not gonna make it like the next time. So the thing that I do need to do, just go back, start reading lead code, doing the questions again, so that I'm crystal clear whenever I see a code, and then just find out the answer. It's nothing personal. And the truth is, like, the more you face interviews, the more you fail, uh, you will reach out to eventual greater heights. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was really really lovely talking to you, Tushar. You were like a great interviewee. I really liked solving out the problem with you. You took
Uh,
interview better than the few ones out there. Thank you so much, Mukund. I take that as a compliment. Thank you so much. Yeah. But yeah, back on to Tushar. Thank you so much.
okay.
You did
So
came
will I
out.
get a call back for this one?
Yeah, thank you. That's why. So you're the first one who came. So for example, when me and Gautam did started, we were the only one that was there. And then initially people do get hesitated that how they will come online and then have the interview faced. But you did on a very early stage with us. So I'm really thankful for that. But tell me this. By the time you were actually solving out the problem, and I know this comes as a, a thing that how can you go live on YouTube and then start solving? But by the time you were actually solving out the question, were you feeling that you're actually live or something, or you were feeling that you're just simply in an interview?
Basically, I was not thinking about whether we are live or not. I was
Exactly.
treating it as a serious interview. So, uh,
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole idea. And the thing that, for example, till this time, like how Gautam and I were doing the interview, you were able to give us the pointers. Like, thank you so much in the last video also as well. Gautam was appreciating that. Um, you gave out the pointers. When you do perform, maybe let's say your good points, Mukund will be understanding, or our other viewers will be understanding, and even from you from the shortcomings as well. So you
yes, yes.
do grow out the community with that, right? Thank you so much for that. Kudos for that. Yeah. Can I
Yeah.
also join the mock interview if possible? Yeah, sure, Mukund. We will be contacting you. I think from the for the next session, we can have you as our interviewee. And I do need to start working on Pradeep's work as well. So we'll be having system design interview as well. Yeah. Um.
Uh, I also want to say something like
Yeah.
the very first video of yours was on, I think, which I saw was on Mint design, basically.
Yes.
So it was really amazing, and in depth you went in like depth. What you explained was really good. Uh, Sometimes like I have seen many videos, but somehow I felt very familiar with concepts and tried to like I easily understood what you are explaining at that point. So those are really good videos.
Thank you.
Which
Thank you so
which
much, Tushar. The idea was that when we are in an interview, we do need to perform under pressure, and that's why the live video session did started to come up. So for example, it's not necessary that in interviews I'll be able to 100% solve out a problem. I cannot say that for Gotham because, like, that guy is a genius. uh but the idea is that when we face out the interviews, we are under pressure and then we still need to perform, and I'm just trying to do out the same. So few of the good things that we do or the mistakes that we do here, you guys can learn from it, and then you don't, hopefully that we don't do that in any. That's the whole idea. Thank you so much for that. Hearing from you, hearing from Pradeep as well, system design is an important thing. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
so I think we can conclude this one out. Tushar, do you want to say anything to the viewers?
Thank you, viewers, for your kind words. Actually, I messed up the code, but yeah, I got few appreciations. So thank you so much, and thank you for joining also. Uh, if you see the red button over there, please press that one.
Thank you so much.
Spread this, spread this work. Yeah.
Do spread it out the word so that we can build a larger community. So I think this is it for this session. We will be having other session soon on this one. Please do feel free to join our community. We'll be creating groups soon. Do join our newsletter. That description will be down below in the video. And yeah, if you do want to reach out, we'll be having all of the links. You can reach out to Tushar as well. I'm pretty sure, like, after today, I've realized that he is an amazing coder as well. Yes. Till next time, guys.